Hello and yeah, welcome to a whole new video. This is my first video, so I'm hoping this goes well. But I thought I would bring you along on a little readathon that I'm doing this weekend. That's starting at 8 o'clock this morning, which is a Saturday, so that's about 10 minutes time. And then I'm going to keep reading for about 36 hours until 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. And I am going to be sleeping. I can't do it all in one go. Yeah, I just can't do that. But I thought I would show you first the books I'm planning to read this weekend. So I have about 70 pages left of Discovery Witches. So I'm going to finish this this morning. I'm loving it so far. So I'm predicting probably a 4.5 star for this. So I'm going to read that this morning and finish it. And then I've got 3 books that I plan to read over the weekend. So we have Dark Matter, A Ghost Story by Michelle Paver, which I need to get the sticker off, but my nails does not allow for this. So this is basically like a ghost story set. Is it in the Arctic? Yeah, it's like an Arctic expedition. So it's going to be like a very isolated setting, and yeah, I have high hopes for this. I've heard good things about it. And then we've got Rosemary's Baby, which is obviously always on the recommendation lists for this time of year. So I think this was going to be probably the scariest out of these, I would have thought, because yeah, I've heard some really good things about this. And then lastly, we've got The Hunted by, is it Gabriel Bermosa, which is going to be the 3rd book that I read. I don't know much about this, but it does say on the back here, with echoes of deliverance and battle royale, the Australian outback set, The Hunted is a truly terrifying, breathlessly exciting novel. And that was quoted by N.W. Craven. He's like one of my favourite authors. So again, yeah, I have high hopes for this. So I don't know too much about each of the books. All I know is that they are always on recommendation lists for this time of year. So I thought I'm going to give them a go, and hopefully at least one of them is like a 5-star read. So we shall see. But yeah, I'm going to go make myself a spicy chai tea and then start the readathon. Okay, so it's 9:30. I've got a reading update because I have now finished A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. So this is the first book in a trilogy, and yeah, I've absolutely loved this. I've given it 4.5 stars, so not quite 5, because I kind of feel like there were moments where it was obvious this was a chunky book. So in about like the middle part of the book, but I did absolutely love it. I thought it was brilliant. I really did. You have this whole world of like demons, vampires and witches, and then one of the vampires and one of the witches decides to form a relationship, which is, you know, against the rules in this world. And they have people coming after them. There's something special about Diana the witch as well, which kind of makes her a bit more of a powerful witch, and she's always hidden her magic, and it's starting to come out. And there's like a manuscript that's involved as well, which basically gives like a lot of information. So you've got witches, demons and vampires from everywhere that just want this manuscript. So yes, it makes for quite an action-packed book, and they basically want to make it so that anyone can they can be in love with whoever they want. So that there's, you know, you're allowed to have witches and vampires be in a relationship and things like that. So they want to make it like that kind of world where you can love whoever you want, and the only way they're going to be able to do that is, you know, generating this war, and they have to do some like time walking, which is basically traveling back in time so that Diana's safe. They've got a lot of people coming after them, but you've got a few of these witches, vampires and demons kind of coming together, and the characters in this book are superb, and I love the setting. I love the writing. Well, obviously it's set in Oxford at the beginning, and then they travel over to New York where Diana's family live, and stay with her aunts who are witches, obviously. So yeah, you're kind of seeing like the setting in Oxford, which I absolutely love, and you see a lot of the Bodleian Library, and then yeah, it heads off over to New York. So the setting is fantastic. The characters, I really enjoyed all the characters, and yeah, I just absolutely love this book. I mean, what's not to love when you've got witches and vampires and demons? You've got this romance between a witch and a vampire. You've got all of this action. So yeah, it ends in a spot where you know you need to read the second book. So I'm definitely continuing this series. Yeah, I absolutely love this book, and I would definitely recommend it for this time of year because it is set in the lead up to Halloween. So yeah, definitely recommend. So I'm going to write up my thoughts into my reading journal because I always update my reading journal after finishing a book. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to start on my next book this morning. Okay, so it's about 11:45, so I thought I would come on here and give a little bit of a reading update just before I head out for lunch. So I'm reading The Hunted. I've got to page 96 and I'm very much enjoying this. Very much. I can definitely see the vibes from Deliverance in this as well. So we follow two timelines. We've got now and then. In the now we've got Frank and Ali. So Frank is an owner of this service station on this highway which is never used really. It's very isolated, and his granddaughter Ali has come to stay. And whilst they're there, there's a couple that turn up, and there's the four of them having some food in the service station, and next minute like a car comes up, this woman gets out covered in blood, she's obviously going unconscious, all of that. So straight away you're put into the action, which is brilliant. And yeah, we follow them basically trying to help this woman. Then we're following Simon and Maggie, and they kind of meet in a bar and they decide to head off across Australia, across the outback, and see what they can find. And they come across this little town, and the residents in this little town is basically what gives me the Deliverance vibes. And there's something very odd about this town. And obviously Simon has this really bad feeling, and he's not even really sure who Maggie is, and there's a lot of like unsettling feelings going on. And yeah, so you're following these two timelines. Both of them are very tense, and I'm definitely keen to see how the two timelines are connected, who this girl is that has appeared at this service station, and what's happened to her, and who she is running away from. So yeah, it's very tense at the moment. There's a lot of action going on. So yeah, I'm very much enjoying it. So yeah, my plan now is to head into the forest to have my lunch there and spend the afternoon reading more of this. I don't think it's going to take me very long to read, to be honest. It's only like 270 odd pages, and I'm already like 100 pages in, so it shouldn't take long. But yeah, I'm very much enjoying this, and I'm keen to see where it goes from now. So yeah, let's head into the forest for lunch. Okay, so our reading update is about 3 o'clock, and I have just finished, put it the right way. I have just finished The Hunted by Gabriel Brumosa, and I thoroughly enjoyed this. I've given it 5 stars because yeah, I just thought it was brilliant. So we're following Frank, who runs this service station. It's out in the middle of nowhere in the outback, and his granddaughter Ali is staying with him. And whilst in the service station, this woman turns up and she pulls up and she's covered in blood and she loses consciousness. And then what they don't realise is that the people that are after this woman have now come after her, and obviously turning up at the service station, there's a bit of like a battle turn like that occurs. This woman is a hard nut and she's not going to be taken. She wants revenge and she's going to fight for her life and she's going to fight to save Frank and Ali, and it just is absolutely brilliant. I mean, there's a lot of stabbing, a lot of shooting, there's a lot of gore, just not for the faint-hearted, but it's very tense and you can easily read this in one sitting. I started it this morning and I just thought it was just absolutely brilliant. I just really enjoyed it, so I would definitely recommend it, as long as obviously you don't mind the gore and things like that. But yeah, it's very tense, and I don't know why, but I just thoroughly enjoyed like the fast-paced action, the tense, the wanted to know what's going on, who this woman is, and yeah, really enjoyed it. So I'm going to go and head to Costa, get a coffee, then I'll head home. I might start the next book. I want to write up in my book journal first, and then yeah, possibly start another book. But I will be cooking dinner soon, so we'll see what it is time wise and go from there. But yeah, definitely recommend this, and I've given it 5 stars. As you can see, it's still light out, so I have decided to watch a scary film whilst it's still light, in the hopes that it won't terrify me as much. So yeah, that's the plan. And then after that, I will have some dinner and then start my next book. But I thought I would have a couple of hours of watching a film instead and just chill with the cats. And then yeah, I can start, is it Rosemary's Baby, this evening. Hello, so it's about 10 o'clock, so I thought I'd come on here and give a bit of a reading update. So I'm more than halfway into Rosemary's Baby. I've got about 90 pages left, so I'm going to finish this tomorrow morning. I don't really know fully what my thoughts are, to be honest. I kind of feel like it's a cult. I think that's what this book is mainly about. There's obviously very sinister neighbours, and it's quite a scary thought because, you know, it's very realistic. We don't really know who our neighbours are, do we, when we first move in? So, yeah. So I kind of feel like it's almost like a cult type book, possibly. But I thought it was more ghostly goings-ons as well, but I don't think there is. It's obviously a very sinister building. I don't know if it's the neighbours as such or whether it's the building itself. I haven't worked out, but it's very character driven, this book, so not a lot of action has happened. It's been mainly getting to know the characters, but obviously the neighbours are sinister. There's something not right, and even with the husband as well, actually, think about it, and there's something not quite right about him. So yeah, I don't know. I am intrigued though, so I'm intrigued to see where it goes. I'm intrigued to see if Rosemary's going to be okay, if the baby's going to be okay, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm excited to read more of it tomorrow. So my plan now is I'm going to get ready for bed, basically. I'm going to do my skincare, teeth, all of that stuff, sort the animals out and get into bed. Tomorrow it's Sunday, so I'm going to try and do a bit more of a lazy morning, as it were, and stay in bed in my pyjamas for quite a bit longer and basically finish this tomorrow morning. So my next update will be, yeah, when I've finished Rosemary's Baby, and I'll give you my full thoughts on it at that point. Good morning. So it's about 10:30 on Sunday. So I've spent the morning in bed finishing up Rosemary's Baby. So it was a very chilled, good Sunday morning. And also it's like rainy and grey out as well, so it's perfect reading weather. But yeah, I finished Rosemary's Baby. I've now got showered and ready for the day. So I thought I would come on here and tell you my thoughts on this. So this book, I ended up giving it 4 stars. The first half is very much a slow burn. You're just getting to get to know the characters. Not a lot is happening. But then when she starts to suspect things, that's when I started to be like, oh, actually, yeah, this book is actually quite good in a way, because that's when, yeah, things start happening. And I started to think, oh, actually, yeah, this is quite a good book. The ending was not satisfactory though. That's the only thing. I wasn't keen on the ending of this book at all. But I'm not going to let that take away the enjoyment of this whole part where it was tense, it was creepy, and you just had Rosemary knowing that these people are against her and they're not there for her, or they're not around for good reasons, and there's a very sinister, you know, motive to what they're doing. And she starts figuring stuff out, and when it gets to that point, it then starts to become a very good read. So I would still recommend this. I just kind of feel like it was not as, I think I had too much higher expectations. I did still enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars still, but maybe it's because I really relate. Obviously, I've never had a baby. I'm not going to have a baby, so maybe it's something to do with that. I don't know. But I did still enjoy it. I just kind of feel like the first half of the book was very slow, and then the ending was just not great. But there was a good chunk that I did really enjoy it, and it was tense and all of that good stuff. So yeah, basically I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea and start the next book and read that for about an hour before I head out. I've got to pop to the shop to get some bits for the week, and then get my lunch. I'm going to have my lunch somewhere. I don't know whether I'm going to go back to the forest or what yet. I don't know. I will decide that in a bit. But yes, that's another book off the TBR, and on to the next one. Hello, so it's about 11:30. It's only about an hour since my last update, but I thought I would give a very quick update on my thoughts so far on Dark Matter, a ghost story. I'm about 55 pages in, and I'm really enjoying it at the moment. It's done like first person narrative, and it's like journal style, so I like that. It makes it very easy and quick to get through, so it makes the pacing a lot quicker, which is great. At the moment, we're just seeing Jack on his journey to this remote place in the Arctic. So he's been accepted on an expedition. He's going with a group of other men, and they're heading to a very remote spot. And obviously I know that as soon as it gets to the part where it's winter for 4 months, they have when it's winter, it's darkness for 4 months. And I know at that point there's things that start happening to this group of expeditioners, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So I'm really keen to get to that point. So I'm going to head to the shop to pick out some bits now, and then I'm going to get my lunch. I'm going to head into the forest, but a different spot in the forest, and I'm going to read this afternoon. You know, it's quite a short book again. I think it's about 240 pages. So it is doable to finish this today. We shall see though, because, you know, I'm reading until 8 o'clock, and then if I do finish this slightly before, then I'll probably do my wrap up then. But I don't know, yeah, if it's so far before, then obviously I will try and pick up another book and make a start on that, because I still have time to finish that by Tuesday, which is the end of the month, so it could be in my wrap up. So we shall see how it goes. But for the time being, I'm going to head off to the shop, get some lunch sorted, head into the forest, and I'll give an update once I've finished this. Hello, so it's about 4:30 and I've got a reading update because I've just finished Dark Matter, a ghost story. So I only stayed in the office, in the office, I was about to say, in the forest for about an hour. Then I came back and I did have a half an hour nap this afternoon, which I know is bad, but it is Sunday, so I kind of, you know, allowed myself. But about this, I've just finished it and I really liked this book. So when I was about 50 pages in on my last update, I basically just explained there wasn't much to say because the whole 50 pages have been about the journey to this isolated area in like this in the Arctic. And that obviously it was done first person narrative and it was like journal entries and it was all from the perspective of Jack. And yeah, I really enjoyed this book because then you kind of see, so he goes with 2 other people and one of them becomes ill, so they have to go to the mainland and go away where there's like to like the nearest proper town where there's a hospital. And so he's left on his own in this isolated, very dark place, and there's obviously some sort of haunting going on. Now the scenes with the ghost, I just felt very unsettled. I wasn't like terrified, but I did feel unsettled. And I think what's most terrifying is the feeling of isolation. It's such an isolated setting, and I kind of feel like that's what made this the most terrifying. But I don't know, I absolutely loved it, and the ending to this was satisfactory, definitely. I really enjoyed this. You kind of see a relationship form between him and a dog, even though he was not a dog person at the beginning, and you know, I don't know, it's just, yeah, when you've got absolutely no one, so, and there's a dog there, so that becomes like your comfort. And so he's talking to the dog, and yeah, I don't know, it's it was a very clever way of showing isolation, loneliness, and it obviously didn't help that the place was haunted as well. So yeah, I don't know, I just really enjoyed this. I think it's going to be a 5-star. Yeah, I'm going to give it 5 stars. I've obviously read it in a day. I have nothing bad to say. There's no negatives to say about this. At the beginning, to be fair, at the beginning I did think that I wouldn't get on with the writing style too much because you have to kind of get your head around the fact that obviously it's journal style. So yeah, but once I'd got my head around that, I think, yeah, I just got straight into the story and thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, I do have another book that I could read, which is called Locusts. I can't remember the name of the author, so I might start that because it's only 4:30. But I'm thinking I might read that for a little bit and then I might do like half an hour reading that and then start film, and I'll have some dinner halfway through the film, and then yeah, finish up some more reading afterwards, and I'll be wrapping this all up at 8 o'clock. So I've got some time. I've got some time to make a good dent in the next book, which I will definitely finish by the end of the day on Tuesday, so it will definitely be in my October wrap up. But yeah, another 5-star read. So it's been a really good like reading, like a readathon so far. So yeah, I'm quite happy with it. happening?
You scared?
I just slipped. Okay, so that's it for the readathon. So I thought I'd come on here and discuss the books that I actually read this weekend. So it started at 8 o'clock yesterday morning, so I kind of did 36 hours of reading, and I finished the last 70 pages of a book that I'd started in the week. I've read 3 full books and made a start on another book. So first of all, I finished up The Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. Obviously, I absolutely love this book. What is there not to love? You know, you've got a vampire and a witch romance, and yeah, it was just perfect. Loved it. The 3 books I completely finished was The Hunted by Gabriel Belmoza. This is more like a slasher type thing. You know, like the type of American films. I could see this being an American film, basically. Where you've got like a group of people getting like chased down by people from a small town. This definitely had a lot of vibes of Deliverance, and it was very tense, but it was a very quick read and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was brilliant, but yeah, it just is not for the faint-hearted because the gore in this is a lot. Then I read Rosemary's Baby by R11, so is it? So this I think was like probably a bit too much of like a high expectations, I think. So I was a bit disappointed in the fact that it wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be. This is definitely very much more cult, satanic sort of thing. And I kind of feel like on reflection of this book that Rosemary is quite naive, and I can't get my head around how she didn't notice sooner what was going on. But yeah, I suppose that would have made it a little short book, I suppose. But as soon as she did start figuring things out, I did think this was quite a good read. And then we also finished Dark Matter Ghost Story by Michelle Paver. This one is very much all about the setting. It's very isolated. You can kind of see like the loneliness that our main character Jack is going through. There's obviously a ghost. It is like quite creepy. Yeah, I do love an isolated setting. So they're basically on an expedition in the Arctic, but he ends up being by himself, and well, the only human anyway. And obviously there's something dark and sinister that comes out at dark, which is quite annoying because it's like 4 months of complete darkness, so there's always something sinister around. I did really enjoy this one as well. And then I made a start on Locusts by Guyan Smith. This one I think is going to terrify me. At the moment I think I've only read the first 20 pages, and the characters are rather annoying. I'm not gonna lie. It's the mum, dad and son, and the mum and dad are like those argumentative people. So they're quite annoying, but I think I'm gonna get into it eventually. Possibly. We shall see. So I'm gonna finish this by the end of the month. So it will be in my wrap up. But yeah, I think 3 full books, finishing off one that I started in the week and making a start on another one is actually quite good going for 36 hours of reading, and I've really enjoyed it. So hopefully there'll be another one next year. We shall see. I am planning to do, you know, different types of the readathons, not like solid 36-hour type of ones, because I don't really have the time for doing that because I am renovating a house. So but I do have lots planned, and just thank you so much for watching. I hope that this turns out a bit okay. I had to do everything in one shot and then try and put it all together at the end. I don't have any editing features. I'm doing it all on my phone. This is my first ever video, so yeah, hopefully it comes out okay, and I'm hoping to get like a proper camera and do some proper videos. The next one will be my October wrap up, which will be out on Tuesday. I've got some exciting plans for November as well, so hopefully people will stick around to watch some more videos. But for now, thank you for watching and bye bye.